that we see the Gentlemates, Malibuca, Ping, floating across the screen here, just waiting to find their reposition opportunity. Disastrous if they don't realize what's coming up behind them.
Yeah, there's no audio visuals that far away, so they're just going to try to get some easy surge. You see the launch pads coming out. That's a huge signal. Seti and Panzer have to kind of second guess if they want to go for it, because the outgo's just getting being targeted out of the sky. Just one shot left is all they need, but he possibly leaves that render distance and figures out a way to survive. Heads up to Seti and the Panzer. They not only building that to try to fire back on them, but that coincidentally enough shielded their teammate yet, but they have a max pull all across the water to the other side of that island. It's not going to be easy for a single person in this game, but there goes Malibuca. Nice drop on the hottie. He needs it, and he needs it now because he's barely above that damage threshold.
And that's the kind of refresh that Marius was hoping to find, but instead it's going to be all Malibuca. But no, he's going to actually be forced to keep charging forward. He doesn't even get a chance to try and collect that body loot off of Hottie. Fortunately, he still has a good amount of materials and just beaming a minute as he trails behind him. The Fizz Crash Pad combination just taking him so far, but when you're in this position, Jacob, as a solo over the water, major winners, right? Even across the international stage, but Wox getting busy. Rahito gonna be
couple of zones, because they're not a team that'll build those towers. Arxpo and Salco is one that just kind of fight for their surge all across the western side of the map. But Wox being Malibuca, they have that one elimination so far, uncontested at Outpost, but very, very similar to that.
Panzer and Yapto, but that option has just been reduced to nothing.
All about kind of waiting to see if it's worth it. They know at least two teams are fighting, but they may not know how many are still alive over on this side of the map. But Malibuca is using that opportunity. Even with his teammate down, get that knock. It does look like they were trying to rotate in that direction, but they rather quickly to get the revive. No worries there. Malibuca Wox, no ping to engage out of there because they will try to push a solo in that situation. But Malibuca, Wox, pings, 25 points through 2 games so far. Couple teams need to go down, about 7. You can start getting some of those placement points. But for now, they're just kind of just like some of these other teams in this lobby. 110 points. Definitely above most of the lobby, but not where they had hoped to be at this point in time.
But the real problem that I'm recognizing right now, Jacob, is that you've got several of some real heavy hitter trios surrounding Foxy Floodgate, and I'm thinking about Cold, Ritual, Peterbot way back.
To happen to see him here and playing as extraordinarily well as they have been so far. Malibuca, Wox, and Pings, you can see them set up just outside the Outpost Enclave, just trying to trade off shots into the distance. And it gets Poyo, Agers, and Acorn. And honestly, I think this was the difference maker. We saw both of these teams before slightly weather, one more than others, but I think it's because of exactly this. They're now trading off shots for Storm Surge versus the rest of the lobby. And at Tammy lands, I saw them, but now you saw Ritual in the distance as Wox, Ping, and Malibuca. They're taking the fight on over. That's Aspect's team, and Aspect was the one that was landing towards the Kappa Kappa factory. So you're already seeing they're changing up their game plan. They're trying to steal away some loot away from Malibuca and Wox, but that's not something you want to do at all.
And Malibuca, Wox being more than happy to try and collect whatever opportunities come their way. They're willing to try and generate these occurrences themselves, and they are just chasing these teams way out to the outskirts. This is a big commitment, but if they find the eliminations, it's all worth it.
I like what they're doing here. They're just trying to trust in each other for the most part. One's gonna go on over, try to see if they can...
That have fully overthrown the high ground. They're the ones that are ready to find their first victory royale.
Mustache Queasy still as a duo, but they're still holding that first Pico, trying to stay alive. Malibuca and Wox still on high ground, raining fire down from above. They get that knock on the Kanata, and you see the Bowberry Fizz coming out. They're getting ready. The inevitability, the drop down from above, it comes in. Kanata gets cleaned up. The Siphon comes into play. Wox is doing damage. Malibuca is causing pain.
Wox and Malibuca, they might just be able to do it, Chef. Not going to be able to withstand the pressure here. Malibuca with a huge cleanup shot. Wox now just needs to seal this one out. And just like that, Malibuca and Wox, they take down Pixie, and that's going to be the first.
Let's get you up on your feet! Your fans want to see the Havoc fans want to see Wox. The mates want to see Ping and Malibuca. Malibuca, just one question really from me. What took you so long?
I don't know. We were not sure what to do on first day, but maybe we'll figure out something today.
We've definitely figured something out. You managed to take the high ground from the high ground kings, led by Queasy. Was this something you worked on, managing to take high ground from the top spot?
I mean, it was pretty high ground this game, so we just climbed it.
So do you have the Americans to thank for taking it first and chopping the boys on top?
No, we just saw.
Just everyone. So why would you? I'm gonna actually head over to Chopper.
Wox, do you have a word for this crowd that are supporting you and your teammates?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out, supporting us, and watching us play. It means the world. Hopefully we'll be able to clutch up and come back today.
And do you think you'll keep the consistency now that you start the day with an amazing victory royal? Do you think you'll keep your consistency?
Yeah, of course. If we just get some good soulfuls, I think we'll be able to win this day and come back.
Malibuca, just before I let you get ready for the next game, have you got anything you'd like to say to the gentlemates?
Might win.
Amazing feeling, but saw a glimpse of Mustache just now, and this could be trouble brewing for both of these teams.
Yeah, and you know, Tackle, you'll know better than anyone else commentating over this trio this year. They're so good when it comes to momentum. They pick up that first win, they keep things rolling. This game will be a big sign of whether or not these guys, after being able to pick up some of them Cypher mats.
Yeah, and it was actually iDrop who got that initial knock and elimination onto Acorn, leaving them that far below the damage threshold. But now the zone pulling up over towards the north. This is a good zone for the majority of the lobby. There's not too many different elevation changes, especially drastic ones at that. It's just as long as it doesn't pull towards the west. That's what the entire lobby has to be hoping for right now, including Pings, Wox, and Malibuca. From high ground victory royale.
Coming into effect, they spent so much time outside of the zone, but now Wox, trouble on the high ground here for Vanya Boo Boo. Wox still trying to see if he can commandeer it for himself. Gonna have to use the Flowberry Fizz, probably only a matter of seconds before he might get chopped
down. Still got Malibuca's team alive, 332 points. He's only 2 points down from 8th. 2 more points after that for 7th. A little bit more of a run to get into the top 6, but with that player and team already down, it's a realistic chance.
In the area that were bound to lobby focus that solo the moment that they spotted him out. Malibuca, Wox, Ping though, looking to get a little bit more active here, trying to funnel teams around them. They want to see if they can make a play just to switch slightly higher up onto the elevation, utilize some of this natural map terrain, but they're still holding teams back. They don't want anybody rotating through them. Malibuca keeping a heavy eye out. Wox, separate angle hold there too, but he never had a chance to close it off. He's gonna have to depend on Malibuca to get him back to safety, but they're gonna have to forfeit height here, Jacob. Another team bound to try and jump immediately onto them, but Ping, Malibuca somehow brought back without much of a challenge, and that is actually insanity to witness. And it's Surge underneath, that's the real problem.
It's not just Surge, it's active Surge on top of that. Alex and On resigned, they're trying to rotate away. They get some shots, but they're still 160 below. Every 7 or so seconds, 25 damage pours out, and you don't get knocked. You get straight eliminated. Crash Pad, Flowberry Fizz, they're doing what they can to rotate towards the zone, but it's Queasy, it's Swizzy, it's Mustache on the other side. M8 versus M8. Malibuca has no choice.
He can maybe clutch up big time here. He just needs a few more placements to continue in first place. Malibuca, Ping with Malibuca though on the ropes here, trying to see if they can battle their way out of this box fight position, but Kappa Kappa Factory, this is all just spilling over and against them. They're seeing whether or not
Wox is going to get dropped down to only HP. Epic Whale is moving up that high ground. They finally figured a way on the side of Malibuca, Wox, and Pings to converge into the same box. But this is their chance now with all those extra hills. This is their original.
Just looking to get a little bit of space creation here. Because eventually, Ping, Malibuca, and Wox are going to have to move from this position, but might have been a little bit
into. On the whole northeast side, there's 3 teams stacked up. Malibuca, Pings, and Wox going to be one of them. Day 2 today, their run has been impeccable. 345 points, doing their best to close the gap as much as they can, but they're kind of in a tough situation here. Talked about 3 big teams all around, ready to fight if they make a mistake. And they're all gonna rotate out first. A single material left. The splashes are running out as well. Pings from F8 trying to make a miracle run continue. 373 points. It is on him for the solo clutch to pick up these points.
Queasy's just a fan.
In trouble.
Yeah, they're in trouble. Pix is gonna be down. Malibuca, Wox, and Pings, they have advantage in this fight, and they know how stacked the top side of the leaderboard is, and they're in the rainbow field, and I do think they did. Crash pads coming out. They're trying to close the gap.
Battle between 3rd and 7th, it's just not worth it. The juices, Malibuca not checking the bushes, a little bit lackadaisical.
And this is how we know it's game 11, right? With only a couple chances left for some of these teams to pick up points. This is atypical for Malibuca, Wox, and Ping. We've seen them kind of base off.
Wox and Pings, they take the 2v1. One step closer to sending the entire trio back to the lobby, but Malibuca ends it as well in the 1v1 against Demas. 3rd place is out of there.
Malibuca might have missed them the first time, but they knew they had to still be local to the area. There's only so, and the fact that they just get completely ran down here by Wox, Ping, and Malibuca, those are the types of aggressive plays you have to make when you are in, but they're not the only ones. Other teams in EU definitely making their presence known.
Yeah, the chase is on right now for a couple of our teams, namely Malibuca, Wox, and Ping. The aggression early, they want to go ahead and catch up to Rapid, Canada, and Bolts, right? That's the only team that is currently alive that is ahead of them right now. And as I say, that pressure starts to rain in.
Why does this look like one of the practice lobbies right now, though? Down to our last 17 teams and only 6 zone. Ping, Wox, Malibuca, they're trying to see if they can bring down Agers and Acorn with it. Pollos, they're gonna have to try and take a crash pad out of here, but Malibuca, Wox, and Ping, they are fully wary of what lies ahead.
Yeah, and you can see in the mini-map, Acorn, Agers, they immediately rotated out with or without the reboot card. A couple more teams rotating in and around this path.
Go with it, but will it really be enough? The leaderboard will have to wait and tell a different story here. Malibuca, Wox, and Ping, though, fighting a battle of their own. They're now looking to see if they can overthrow the high ground. I drop Cammy, Hottie. They've been a little bit tagged up here, but it's Ping who eats the greater bulk of his shields there. Malibuca, Wox, now having to head towards the forefront. They're looking back. They're trying to provide some support. They have a slight placement on this side of the mountain. And
yeah, Bolts just went down off the side of that mountain. Their run in this game has come to an end zone. He saw 3 different med kits, a replenished amount of materials, and this could be the difference maker in terms of point differential as that leaderboard goes down below. Malibuca, he's struggling all around, rejoins his team. The splashes are coming out, but they're in the backside of the zone. They're sacrificing HP to try to catch any team off guard.
it's because of the way that the zone is pulled over this slight bridge of elevation, though. Malibuca, Ping, they don't have a whole lot of builds. Malibuca is going to be forced to try and play heals, try and acquire whatever placement points are possible. The siphon materials going to give him a little
Close
bit
the
of
distance and get inside of the OXR HQ.
We've got another perspective. Malibuca, Ping, and Wox here at Kappa Kappa Factory. They are just chasing down Pig, Starm, and Demas. They don't want to allow these guys the opportunity to try and maintain their position within the top 5. Malibuca, Ping, and Wox going on to the aggressive forefront here, but it's Ping who's opening up big shots here onto Demas, forcing him. Demas, Starm, Pigs, they're trying to keep the hopes alive for themselves. Rookies of the year, essentially, Jacob, but they still have to break through these veterans.
Malibuca's using his experience not to get caught off guard in these situations, just trying to spray down a couple of their piece control, get them to expose themselves. But right now it is going to be a 3v3, but you see at the bottom of your minimap 2 teams from the Kappa Kappa Factory. That be 2 builds left. Wox continues to put down the pressure. Good thing for him. I do believe it was Darm reunited in the same box trying to hold the covers, but that leaves out Picks to go down. They isolated the 1v1. Malibuca, Pings, and Wox are hunting down 3rd place.
Darm, Demas, and Pigs might be phenomenal fighters, but Malibuca, Ping, and Wox simply having the material counts in their favor. They've completely shut off Darm's entrance back towards Demas. Malibuca trying to see if he can make that wing flank approach. Malibuca, though, big tag, but an even bigger one on the Darm. Darm's gonna be put down. Elimination after elimination now.
Pings on the other side. Seti Panzer changing amount of money as Peterbot's gonna go down.
Malibuca, Wox, and Ping put on so much pressure, but now that they've made their rotation, we're a little bit exposed. Not sure that was enough. QQs aren't doing Malibuca's team any favors because Prodoxy, Gino, Pablo directly underneath, more than happy to see if they can close in. They knew that there were weakened trios directly above them, but they just want to see how bad off are they really. They're still trailing underneath, but Wox, Malibuca attempting to hold height. They might only be a duo, Jacob, but they have so much surge.
62 points. That's the difference between...